hustle.
Every day, all day.
This is how we roll.
This is 97.9, the BOX.
How are you this morning?
Hey Troy, how are you?
I'm hanging on in there. It's 6 a.m. out this way, so I got
I see you're kind of in the dark, my friend.
no, I get right back in the light. I just had to get my water. But I'm super
Oh, it's all good, no worries. Oh, there you are. I love it. I love it. Oh, it's so good to see you.
good to see you as well.
I love it. I love this whole IG live. It just brings me joy.
Oh
So,
yeah, incredible.
while you get yourself situated, I'm going to set us up for today. So, if
Okay.
you are here for the business behind the music. And this is the series that we do on the Box Instagram on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. We have an incredible lineup of experts and guests to basically help you grow your brand. If you're an artist, producer, influencer, somebody who wants to grow their brand in the entertainment space, as well as for people that would like to get into the entertainment space, but maybe not as an artist. So we usually also make time to take deep dives into careers you may not be thinking of. So that's what this is all about. I'm Terri Thomas. I'm the operations manager for Radio 1 in Houston, which means I program 97.9 The Box, Magic 102.1. We have a pop station, Radio Now 92.1, and also Praise Houston Online. And so that's who I am. We are live from the virtual Houston BMW Center studios. See, I got our logo in there today. And I could not be more excited about our guest because this is an area that you've been asking for us to dive deeper into. So my guest today is the one and only Troy Marshall. So Troy is an icon of the music business. He is a veteran of the business. He's seen it and he's done it. He owns his own company, which is FireMarshall Marketing and Promotions, as well as working with so many different labels and artists, and I'm going to let Troy sort of go down his resume. But current clients, and just current, not counting the past, of course, Yella Beezy. We got St. John, who's an international superstar at this point. YFN Lucci. We've got Erica Banks, who's signed to 1501 from right here in Houston, and Ali Chapa. We've got Tay Money, Kayla Nicole, Carrie Hilson. So just a wide variety of current clients, but that doesn't even speak to the long list of clients that you've worked with throughout your career. So today, in particular, we're going to focus on digital and social media platforms, setting that up properly, and why it's important for you to understand your algorithms on the various digital platforms and how you can pull it all together to maximize yourself in the online space. So, good morning, Troy Marshall.
Good morning, Terri Thomas. How are you, my sister?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful.
So this morning, I love it.
Yeah, we got glow up in Houston, and thank you for getting up so early. I know it's really early in LA, so I appreciate it.
This. One of our jobs in the music business is to help give instruction and help people to realize their dreams and their goals. So we have to do things like this so we can educate the young independent artists, the young independent record label on the correct way to do it so they can see some traction on the different things that they're doing.
Okay, I will say, Troy, your mic is kind of low. It may be the earbuds, so you may want to take them out. But yeah, you're kind of low. So I can hear you, but we want to make sure people hear you loud and clear.
Is this better?
Oh, that's much better. Okay. Wonderful. All right. Excellent. See, we got the hearts there. Great. So listen, people, we are going to take questions. So just hold them for a little bit because I really want Troy to kind of set the stage for today. And then we will take some questions and we'll be here for more or less an hour. So you'll have some time. So just hold them for now so I don't have to go back and scroll. And I'll let you know when we can open for questions. So Troy, so why don't you just give us a little bit. I talked about what you're working on currently, but sort of give us the landscape of, your journey in the music business and some of the things that you've done.
So I got into the music business in 1990.
Okay, you're in the back again. I don't know if there's a loose connection.
Better?
Better.
Is that better?
Thumbs up.
Okay, cool. So I started in the music business in 1992. I used to have this club called Paradise 24, and all the record reps used to come to that nightclub. And Alan Carroll, Demet Guidry, Ken Wilson, Garnett March, Step Johnson, they used to frequent this club. And I asked Alan Carroll one day to come intern for him over at MCA Records. Now, at that time in 1992, MCA had Uptown Records, which had Mary J. Blige, Heavy D, Father MC, Guy, Monifa, Soul For Real, and then Lil Silas had his label there that had Shantae Moore, Keith Washington. So I worked there 14, 15 years and then went over to Geffen where we had The Game and Keisha Cole. And then I went over to Warner Brothers and worked with Cynthia Johnson where we broke Trillville, Crime Mob, Little Scrappy, Slim Thug. We had to work with Eric Benet. And then from there, I went over to Universal Motown and I worked with Sylvia Rome where we worked with Chameleonaire, Riding Dirty. I actually picked that single. We worked with Little Baby and Slim, worked with India Irie, worked with Nelly and his whole crew. And then from there, went over to Interscope, where we broke Lady Gaga, where we broke Soulja Boy, Young L.A., Roscoe Dash. Of course, you know that you have 50 Cent and all those others. But I've been doing it for over 22 years, working at major labels. And then as the major labels downsized, a lot of I let go. I saw there was an interest of an independent label who was able to go to a distro or a CD Baby or a TuneCore or an Empire Group, all these different distributors, and they can market and promote their own music without having to be on a major label. So that's when I started FireMarshall Entertainment Marketing and Promotions. And I pride myself on, really trying to help independent artists at the record label get to the next steps as far as releasing music, promoting their artists, promoting their brand, and promoting their record labels. So that's why we're here today.
Awesome. I love it. Well, one of the things that I always encourage people to do is to find the hole and fill it. And I think really your career really kind of is a perfect example of that. So obviously got a long and robust career working in the major label system. And, I think one of the benefits of your career in particular, Troy, is that you did get to work with many different labels. So you sort of picked up the best practices from everybody. Yes. And was really able to take the best of the best and then pull that expertise together with your own passion and desire to, continue to be in the business. So you did and learned the things necessary to really be able to evolve into this new space, which, like, as you said, really helping independent artists kind of go straight to it, right? You mentioned CD Baby, you mentioned DistroKid, and we get a lot of questions about the digital space. So let's take it down to brass tacks. So I'm an artist, I've got music, I'm putting it out in my city. So maybe I'm more on the grassroots level now. What should I be looking at in terms of the digital space? Because it can feel a little overwhelming if you don't really know the right questions to ask or the right information to look for.
Okay, well, the first thing is find your distributor. If it's Create Music or if it's Empire, the first thing you want to do is get your distributor. So what is a distributor? This distributor is the third party that makes sure your music gets on the digital sales platforms, or we call them DSPs. So it can either be digital streaming platforms or digital sales platforms. So that's the very, 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 very first thing that you have to do is get your distributor. Now, once you get the distributor and you have that whole situation set up, then the next thing you need to do, and which is a big part of my business, is set up what I call your social media and digital platforms, right? And I have them broken down in 3 sections. So get your pen, this is a paper out so I can give you this important information, okay? So it's 28 of them, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Your digital sales media music platform, right? Number 1, YouTube. Number 2, YouTube Music. Number 3, SoundCloud. Number 4, Apple Music for Artists. Apple Music for Artists. This is something that has started at the top of January and now is fully functional. So that's a very, very important part. And I'll explain a little bit more why Apple Music and iPhones are super, super important, especially for independent urban artists, okay? You have Audio, which has really been coming on strong as far as doing cross collaborations with record labels and artists and helping develop the profile of artists through their platform.
What's that one called, Troy?
It's called Audio Mac, AUDIO Mac, MACK.
Okay, Audio Mac, got it.
Okay, then you have Pandora. Okay, then you have the AMP program for Pandora. It's called Artist Marketing Program for Pandora. Then you have Spotify. That's your front office. And then you have Spotify for Artists, which is your back office. Okay. Then you have the iHeart app. And then you have this thing called Vimeo, Vimeo, where you can upload your video as well. Now, we're going to move to the personal artist social media platforms. Okay, you have Twitter, you have your Instagram, you have your Facebook, but you want to create a Facebook fan page once you create your Facebook account. Tumblr. Tumblr is where you can, it's linked to your Instagram now. It shows you different pictures and photo shoots and all that different type of content. TikTok, which is the new phenomenon right now. And you can also do TikTok on, usually it was just on your cell phone, Terry, but now you can do it on the desktop as well. Okay, then you have Triller. Triller is a new one that's really coming on super strong. Spinrilla. Why is Spinrilla important? A lot of people put up mixtape. It is now becoming into a digital streaming platform as well. You have Genius.com. What is Genius.com? It used to be called Rap Genius. Now they call it Genius.com, so all genres of music can upload their lyrics. And I'll explain a little bit more of that later and how these algorithms and how these different platforms actually connect together. Then you have Wikipedia. Now, your Wikipedia page, as you develop more as an artist or as a brand or as a label, you can create a Wikipedia page to where they can get it approved. Some people try to create a Wikipedia page before they've established any type of accolades, and they usually get turned down. So you want to make sure you build your brand up a little bit before you apply for that particular one. Because once you do get it, you know, you're able to add to it as your brand grows. All right. The last part is the music network social media sites. Okay. So you have Bandcamp.com.
Bandcamp.com.
Yes, ma'am. You have allmusic.com. You have fanbridge.com. You have Reverb Nation. You have Last FM. You have Soundkick, Music Brains with a Z, and Hype Machine. Okay? If you sign up your artist and your brand on all 28 of those platforms, it will help your algorithms as you continue to be searched on Google or Ping or Safari, all those, right? So now let's get into some of these things. Now, let's go back to Genius.com.
Okay.
Went into partnership with Shazam 4 years ago. This is before Shazam was purchased by Apple Music. A lot of people don't know Apple Music purchased Shazam like 2 years ago. So Genius.com, when you Shazam a record and you see the lyrics come up,
yes,
that's because the partnership with Shazam and Genius.com. Once your lyrics are uploaded on Genius.com, it filters over to Shazam. So then that way you can see your lyrics. So ladies and gentlemen, when you're releasing a single or you're releasing an entire project or mixtape or EP or album, make sure you upload the lyrics to every single song on there. So when people do Shazam your song, your lyrics can come up. And the reason your lyrics come up because they want to teach the consumer the words to the song.
You know what, as a consumer, you know, because I play both sides of it, right? I'm a consumer as well as somebody who's on the other side of it. My passion for music, you know, is why I'm here, right? So as a consumer, I'll tell you, for a consumer experience, it's frustrating when the lyrics aren't linked to me. You know, because I like to see, you know, we always play those games with ourselves. Am I really saying it right, or am I thinking it's something else? So that is a personal frustration.
Yeah, well, again, if you do that as an independent artist or as an independent label, you know, your lyrics will be there. Now, make sure that your lyrics are correct when you write them down. And then from there, go to the Genius.com platform, because sometimes they ask questions. Well, what did you mean by this particular lyric? Or what did you mean about this particular one? And then from there, you can engage with your audience on genius.com to help build your platform on that particular platform. So now, we have we have all the different platforms we need to set up, right? Once you set up the profiles for each one of those platforms, you then in turn make sure the platform is clean as possible. So what do I mean by that? So you need to hire your graphic artist person. And
Okay.
that graphic artist person can make, we call them skins and banners, right? So like if you go to Erica Banks' YouTube page, you'll see a nice clean skin at the top, but you'll also see the Apple Music logo. You'll see the Spotify logo. You'll see the Google Play logo. You'll see the Deezer logo. So why is that important? Because these are the same platforms you're trying to get to support your music and product. So if they go to your YouTube channel, or if they go to your Instagram page, or if they go to your SoundCloud and they see that you're promoting their platforms, they might be more inclined to start listening to your music and say, hey, you know what? This person is promoting my platform. I'm going to in turn maybe give them a playlist to be on to show my appreciation. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
do those different things, but more importantly, as a consumer, when they go to your page and they see it's nice and clean, mentally they're like, okay, this artist has a real team behind them. This artist is learning how to market and promote their music the correct way.
Right.
So a graphic person is very, very important because, as you make your banners and as a consumer goes to each one of your platforms, they can see that your banners are consistent on each platform, which shows organization. From a mental, again, we're talking about the cerebral, we're talking about the mental aspect of it, right? So now, let's take about setting up some of these profiles. When you go to Spotify, you have to sign up for Spotify for Artists. Once you sign up for Spotify for Artists, you now can in turn control everything that's on your front page of your Spotify page. So what does that mean? That means you can put up new artist pictures. That means you can put up a nice skin or banner. That means you can add these 4 platforms onto your Spotify channel. Your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook, and your Wikipedia.
Okay.
So those are the only 4 that they allow you to set up on Instagram. But also they allow
On Spotify.
on Spotify. And
Okay.
they allow you to put up your bio. So your bio is very important because your bio is telling your story about your artist and your artist brand. So that's very, very important. And then you can put up various pictures as well. So if the artist has done a photo shoot and they want to put up different images, you can set up maybe between 2 to 4 images you can put up there, right?
Okay.
So now your Spotify page is totally set up correctly. So why is that important? It's important because it helps your algorithm on that particular platform. So when a person goes there and they see, okay, I like this song, and then they go down to their About page on their platform and say, oh man, I want to follow them on Instagram. Bam, they can just hit the Instagram channel and it takes them right to Instagram. Well, because you connected the platform correctly, that started the algorithm on Spotify saying, hey, this person is starting to get a lot of traction. Let me take it. Now, these are your different editors and curators at the platform.
Yes.
So they start looking at that and be like, hey, there's some activity going on with this artist. Let me research it a little bit. And then they go in there and they see that, man, their monthly followers are growing. I mean, their followers are growing and their monthly listeners are growing. So why is that important about monthly listeners and followers? First of all, when you have a person following on a particular platform, it sends that follower a notification when you put up new content, new music, anything on that platform, it sends that follower a notification. So let's say you have 10,000 followers on Spotify and you put up a piece of new music, it goes out to 10,000 people right off the top. So you already have 10,000 of your fans that's already being notified that you have new music. So that's one. 2, your monthly listeners are people who are constantly playing music off of your platform or have saved songs from your platform to their own individual personal playlists, right? So why is that important? Again, it helps generate the algorithm within that platform, which then pays attention to the curators who want to add you to playlists, see that your energy is going on, and they'll get in contact with you through your Twitter or through your Instagram and say, hey, they'll go into your DMs and say, hey, can you contact me, please? I want to learn a little bit more about your artistry. And then those type of relationships start. So that's just one example. If you go to SoundCloud, Terri, you can upload almost 10 to 12 of your platforms onto that particular channel. So why is SoundCloud important? SoundCloud used to be the big thing back in the day. Well, it's about multiple impressions, right? So those 28 platforms I gave you, it allows you to make all of these multiple impressions. I tell independent artists all the time, in order to reach 1 million people, you have to make 1 million impressions, right? So radio is one aspect, digital marketing is another aspect, video content is another aspect. These are all multiple impressions that help drive people or help get consumers knowing about your name, your brand, and things of that nature. So it's very important that when you are setting up these platforms, you now have content to put onto these platforms. So let's talk about the DSPs a little bit. And at any time, that they can ask me a question or whatever the case may be, because I love teaching and learning.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's do that then. Let's say, hey, if you have a question, go ahead and leave a question in the comments. And before you get to the next part, Troy, I do want to just highlight one thing before we proceed, two things really, before we proceed. One is the first part about distribution. I get a lot of people asking, how do I get distribution? Can you touch on that just a little bit more? Because that was your very first point, and I want to make sure that we accentuate that so that the aspiring artists, producers, folks that are in here have a clear understanding of distribution. How do I get it? Because you can go and make, create your own distribution relationship. It doesn't always have to be to a label, right?
Yes. So the three main ones that started out when this whole digital space started to come, it was TuneCore, CD Baby, and DistroKid. They were like the three main ones before the empire started and the creates and the in-grooves and stuff like that. So with those three in particular, all you like for TuneCore, TuneCore.com. DistroKid.com, CDBaby.com. Now, what I suggest is when you go to this is if you're a brand new artist from scratch, you just wake up one day and say, hey, I want to be a recording artist. Those would be the first three that I would investigate, right? And then you have your more up-tier distribution companies like your Empire, your Create Music, your In Grooves, your Carolines. Now, those are more relationship based. So what do I mean by that? A person let's take Eric Bellinger. Eric Bellinger has an account with Empire, right?
Yes.
And started off just as a distribution relationship, and then it turned into a partnership relationship, right? So let's say, and Eric writes for artists all over the world and all over the country.
Yes.
So let's say he starts working with a new artist that he falls in love with. He can turn around with his relationships at Empire and say, hey, this artist is going to be dope. I'm trying to help her set up her stuff right. I would like to request a distribution account for her, right? So that's on a relationship to relationship situation. So Empires and the Create Music and the In Grooves and those type of distributors is more of a relation-based type of situation, right? So those ways right there is how, but again, if you're a brand new artist or you're just now learning the business, start with DistroKid, TuneCore, CD Baby. Now, before you pick one of those, do your own research. Read up on each one of the distribution platforms and see which one you feel that's going to work best for you and your clients, right? Then the next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you sign up on them properly. Now, why is distribution companies so important? Not only does it get the music up to your DSPs, but they give you a code which is called an IRSC code for every time you upload a single within their distribution platform. That code now becomes the fingerprint of that particular song. Whenever it plays on a television show, whenever it plays on a digital streaming platform, whenever the video plays on YouTube, if you get it synced on a commercial or a TV situation, they record that. So now what am I trying to say? So when you go to when you sign up with ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC,
They can track it.
And collect those royalties, right? That's the back end office. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, I've done a whole other segment on ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, with Tammy Luttrell. So yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, it is. But these platforms, you have to sign up on them, and you have to sign up on them correctly. So go to the profile, put in all the information. Like with Pandora, in order to sign up for Pandora, you have to give your birth date. And people like, I want to give them my birthday. Well, you're not going to be able to sign up on that platform if you don't give them your birthday. Now, why they want it, I don't know. I can't tell you. But again, they want
Well, I mean, I think it's because we live in a digital world where we don't interact face to face very much. And so I think things like your birth date and specific, I mean, it just confirms who you are.
Right.
And so for artists, look, let's all understand that there's like your real age and then there's your artist age. We all get it, right? So, but it really is about setting and I'm a stickler on this, set your business up properly. And the other part of my question, Troy, and I know you probably, jump up and down on this one, is consistency of branding. How are you spelling your name as an artist? Is it consistent across all your platforms?
Yes.
Is the artwork that you've created to support yourself as an artist, is that consistent across all the platforms? So it's also making sure as you're signing up and getting involved in these 28 different platforms that you have consistency of branding, consistency of messaging. Troy, I do want to throw this out because this is local. Someone is asking, SB Vito, what about So South distribution here in Houston?
Now, I'm glad he asked that question. Now, you're starting to see more distribution companies pop up in the different markets. So like in Dallas, Texas, in Memphis, in Houston, in LA. Again, you have to do your research. I don't United Masters, I post that Steve Stout started. So there's a lot of people doing it. Again, my advice to you is research them. How many resources do they have available to you? Are you able to contact them and they help to fix a problem? Here, let me give you a potential problem. You put out your mixtape through your distributor, but you forgot to add your features as far as your feature artists that are on there. Well, can your distributor help you get the feature artists add on to your original artwork? So again, you want to make sure you have a distributor that has the relationships with the DSPs, that some of your mistakes corrected, because it can be an oversight sometimes.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Or they might not know, or they might just rush in too fast and put it up there, and they need to make corrections. So, the main thing is you have to do your research on these platforms. I'm familiar with that platform, but I've never worked with them personally before, so I can't give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. But what I can say is make sure you do all your research, but also, make sure you have a point of contact. One of the great things, and CD Baby, DistroKid, and TuneCore have gotten way better with this, is now they have a person that you can actually reach out to and contact about, different things, how to upload. They have a lot of videos that you can look at to go through that. And also, I'm about to tell you guys a very, very important word that you should not leave this call without having, and that's called Google.
Real talk though. I mean, most people don't do enough research, and that R word can make or break you, because nobody knows everything, but the Googles of the world are your opportunity to educate yourself more. And, could you fall off into some misinformation on Google? Yeah, but if you continue to Google, you'll quickly see that the thing you saw might not be correct, and you can get the correct information. So research on Google is essential.
Right. Now let's move to YouTube a little bit, because this past March, Terry, they started the YouTube Partnership Program, right? So you have to be a part of the YouTube Partnership Program, and the qualifications are you need over 4,000 hours of watch time within a 365-day period, and you need a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. So once you meet those two requirements, unless you're on a major label, then from there you can apply for the YouTube Partnership Program. YouTube Partnership Program. If you go to YouTube, yes.
YouTube Partnership Program also equals cha-ching, you can get paid, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
YouTube pays, so you can get paid. So 1,000 subscribers and how many views in a 365?
Watch hours is 4,000.
4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers to your channel.
Yeah. So what does that mean? That means that you have to have constant content on your YouTube channel, so you can drive people there to go, one, subscribe to your channel, and two, look at your videos so you can get those watch hours count. Now, people say, well, 4,000 hours is a lot of hours in 1 year, but if you're putting enough content up there, you can achieve that goal very, very quickly. And make sure your content is quality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that you got to go spend $50,000, $60,000 on a video. Major record labels don't even spend that no more. But
no
they
way.
can still find a way to make a good $5,000 to $10,000 video with great quality. The quality is the key, because as a consumer, that's what they want. They want the quality.
Let me also share creativity wins. So I've seen some people, truth be told, shoot an entire video on an iPhone. The quality was good. The creativity was key. And that's really what helps. So I think, for persons that are highly creative, you want to get the best quality that you can afford, make the right investments, do your research on equipment and so forth and so on. So I understand everybody's not rich, but investing in yourself in the best way possible. And then also understanding creativity is key. If you're making something that looks like something everybody else is making, it may not be visually interesting.
Right.
And I may not stick with it. So I do strongly encourage putting some creativity. And one of the movements that we see a lot, Troy, on YouTube is also with lyric videos. And I think people can get very creative there as well. So while you're waiting for the real video to come together, at least getting up something creative on a lyric video. And there's so many digital things that you can do on lyrics just to make it look visually stimulating that, you don't need to even spend $5,000 on that. You just need a digital whiz, somebody who's creative in that particular space.
And what's funny? Lyric video started. It was a marketing meeting at one of the record labels, and they were like, "Man, I went to karaoke," and they were trying to get a video done on this artist, and it was kind of difficult. So the executive goes, "Hey, well, let's make a video full of lyrics," and it started to really catch on. And now certain people do only lyric videos because they probably don't have the financial means to shoot a professional videos, right? You have some people like that. And then some people, they shoot lyric videos as part of their marketing strategy until they get the real video. Like Wife and Lucci, his team is great at that. PIG is great at doing dope audio lyric videos, and then they come with the high-res professional video. Again, it helps the subscribers on his channel. It helps the watch hours on his channel. It helps all of those algorithms. Again, going back to the algorithm of his channel growing within that platform. Now, also on YouTube, there are 5 links that you can add to your YouTube page. These are my 5 suggestions. Your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook, your Spotify, and your Apple Music. Those are the 5 that I suggest that you put on your platform as far as your YouTube channel. Okay. Also, once you become a partner within the YouTube partnership program, then they have a new thing that they started, which is the official artist channel, OAC, official artist channel. Once you get the official artist channel, if you go to YFN Lucci's channel, if you go to Yellow Beezy's channel, you're going to see their music symbol next to it. It's like being verified on YouTube now. Okay?
Right.
When you see that music symbol, it opens up a couple more categories in the back office of your studio.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to join the YouTube partnership program first. Once you get accepted into the YouTube partnership program, then you can apply for your official channel.
I love that.
Now, your official channel, it lets YouTube know, hey, this is an artist I need to pay attention to because they went through the proper processes of joining my platform the correct way. And I'm talking about independent artists. I'm not talking about artists that are major labels.
Yes.
Okay.
Like T Wayne, I mean, there's been so many great examples from right here in Texas, even of artists that have adopted the strategy, not needed to go to a major label, and they're making great money. I mean, they're having entire careers being able to continue. I know there was a time in our business, Troy, where everybody was seeking the major label deal. And now it's funny because I get a lot of label people and saying, why won't anybody from Texas sign with us? And it's like, well, because they're figuring out that they could make more money by staying independent.
That's right.
And, you know, and have learned and have put together their own team to not necessarily have to sign a major label deal. And then I will say, in fairness to the majors, that they do offer distribution situations in different situations. They've had to evolve their offerings to try to keep up with independent artists who are figuring out the game on their own so that they could also make partnerships.
Yeah, yes, they are, Terry. Actually, the major labels are kind of softening up owning the masters. You know, they're either doing like 50-50 splits on the masters or, you know, 80-20, whatever the case may be, because they do want the clientele to come in, because you're right. People are figuring it out. They're seeing the type of money that they're making, and they're hiring right professionals. I have to be key on this. Yo, when you hire a graphic person, or you hire a professional music executive, or you hire a lawyer, not a criminal lawyer, not a lawyer that specializes in entertainment lawyer, you have to have the proper people on your team that can help execute the different things that you're trying to get done. Tell your independent label.
Right.
So it's important to have a professional that can walk you through this.
I agree. Troy, we do have a couple questions. We've got one of my frequent flyers here, Mix Jordan, who always checks in. He says, how do you get an artist to listen to your beats if you're a beat maker or a music producer? I have a philosophy on that, but I'm going to let you share yours.
Instead of, okay, well, right now, a lot of people post people's DMs on Instagram or their Twitter. Instead of asking the artist, ask the artist to put you in contact with their manager or their representative, right? Because their manager and representative can then screen it, listen to it. If they feel it's something that is in the interest of the artist, or if they feel it's the vibe of the artist, then 8 times out of 10, they're probably going to let the artist listen to it and see if it's something that they want to deal with. Then if they do, that manager, that representative will get back in contact with you. And from there, you guys can start working together like that. You know, I know they're real funny about that. They don't want other people sending them music. They have their own producers. They have their own comfort level. You know, some people do that. So that's why I say it's best to get in contact with their representative and have them see if they're going to give you permission to do that. When you try to go to the artist directly, a lot of times, it's usually a turn off to the artist.
Right.
You have some artists like Eric Bellinger. He's different. He's not like that. Eric tells artists, producers to ding him music all the time. You know
who else did that was Tyrese, because Draytoven from here in Houston was able to get and work with Tyrese on a few tracks because he simply put it out there, said he was looking for beats, and he responded. So I think, to your point, you have to know the artist that you're reaching out to know if they're open to that. And then, Troy, I do want to say this. I would strongly encourage, because I see how passionate Jordan is. He is on here all the time, so I know he's serious about his business. What is your thought on, like, this guy makes beats and he's a producer? Why not set yourself up like an artist and put your beats out there like you would an art, like, like, as a producer, like, make sure your stuff is copywritten and yada 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 yo. But what's your thought on maybe setting up some things and putting your beats out there, provided your business is handled?
Well, I think he can do that on his YouTube page. I think
Okay.
I'm telling a lot of artists now, become a YouTube artist. So what I mean by that, Yellow Beezy's biggest platform is his YouTube channel, right? Now, again, Yellow Beezy has a very high success rate of records being played on the radio on the urban format, right? And whenever he has successful records on those formats, his videos usually do anywhere from 100 million to 150 million views. Okay, that's a lot of views, which adds up to a lot of money for him and the record label, right? So YouTube, they're becoming so user friendly for the consumer and producer. Like, if you set up your channel correctly, make sure that your music doesn't have any samples in it, and you can prove that you own that music, then you're able to put it up. If that's part of it, Terri, you have to prove that you're the owner of that music. And prove that you're the owner of that music. Now, I don't know if you can just sign up your beat to Ask or BMI just as beats. I would have to kind of research that a little bit. But if you could,
I think you can. And then I'll just throw out there Tammy Luttrell, because she would be my personal expert on that. I think that you can, because instrumental music is music, right? I mean, you've got instrumentalists out here that are artists, but they're instrumentalists. So I think that you can.
yeah. Okay.
I'm absolutely for just protecting your stuff at all costs, really. So I think that you can. I would say Google, but I think that you can, absolutely.
Yeah, but you and if you go through your distributor, that way you get your IRC code.
Yeah.
So again, I would search that, but again, each artist is different, sir. So check out their page, see how friendly they are, or when you go into the DM of the artist, hey, can you put me in contact with your representative or your manager? When you do something like that, you're showing that artist you're being professional and trying to get your music heard by that particular artist. So be very professional about it, don't be disruptive about it, and if they turn you down, just move on to the next person, right? So now I want to go back to SoundCloud a little bit, right? So your SoundCloud channel, you have 10 to 12 of your platforms set up on there, and now you're starting to put music on there, right? So on SoundCloud, there's this thing that you can put your song as the spotlight. So as you continue to put music up there, if you go SoundCloud, your single that you're focusing on still set up there. Now, you see on some SoundCloud accounts that the artist is not anyone. Wrong move. What I've learned from SoundCloud when having physical meetings with them, they say go to artist pages that you like. So if you're an R&B female singer, go to Beyonce page, go to Rihanna's page, go to whatever, Carrie Hilson's page. Follow them. And usually what'll happen is if you follow the artists that they're following, some of their artists will start coming onto your page and check you out. And if they like your music, they'll start following you as well. Now, as you're following different people on SoundCloud, you only can do like up to 100 a day, right? So up there, go follow 1,000 to 2,000 people. That's also energizing the algorithm on SoundCloud.
So basically what you're saying, Troy, is that, whatever genre of music I consider myself on my SoundCloud, to go follow other artists that relate to the genre, and that may in turn help me build up my particular following. You keep mentioning a word, algorithm, and I think that sometimes we take that word for granted, that we have a real understanding of what the word means. Can you explain it from your perspective? What is algorithm and why does it matter?
Okay, so when you go onto your YouTube channel and you might search for, let's say, an umbrella that you want to get, right? Then all of a sudden, umbrellas start popping up on your YouTube channel every time you pull it up. That's the algorithm generating, showing that, hey, this consumer plugged in this on his particular or her particular platform. So I'm going to feed them more of that information. So I'm making sure I'm super serving them. What happens is in the back office, there's a thing that happens to where all of those different analytics goes in there, and then it feeds it back out and say, hey, this consumer wants to see this. This consumer research that. So now we're going to feed them this through the algorithm on how we discovered that. The same thing on Spotify. When you look on your Spotify artists, you'll see it says algorithmic playlist. So the reason they have that is because when consumers go to different artists' page and they like certain songs, then they turn around and they'll continue to feed that consumer, hey, check this song out, check this artist out. And then from there, it allows them to see if they want to follow that artist as well. So the algorithms are things that help them within that platform understand your consumer taste, your consumer buy, and then from there, they feed you information to encourage you to do the same things that you were just searching for.
You know what? I love the way that you break that down. And, again, from my perspective as a consumer, you're so on point. So like I'm on Instagram a lot. I'm on Facebook, not as much, but I'm on there. So I may see an advertisement or something that I'm hashtag searching on Instagram. And then if I open Facebook, because they're owned by the same persons, I may see an advertisement for something that's in that lane. Same thing on Instagram. And then one of the things that I love about Apple Music, so Apple Music is what I own. I invest in several platforms because I want to understand the consumer experience. So Apple is one of my favorites. And I love that when you can also click, like if I don't know what I want to listen to, I'll go to For You and see what it thinks that I might be interested in. And that helps me discover new artists, new music, new songs, new playlists, whatever. Spotify works, like these work the same. So that's why I think I really want to put an exclamation point on the fact that you're saying get on all of these 28 platforms and have some cohesiveness, and that the platforms allow you to link off onto other platforms. Yes. And it's important to maximize and capitalize on that so that you can take everything that you have going on in these 28 platforms and grow your brand. Yes. So that everything starts, when it runs right, Troy, everything starts riding in the same direction. And that's when all of a sudden you see somebody want to say, oh, this person has a buzz. The buzz, my friends, a lot of times is strategy. Yes. It's strategic. That buzz has been manifested because there's a Troy Marshall that you've hired that is coaching you through how to make all of your platforms in sync so that you can increase exposure via the algorithm, which then creates buzz. It's not an accident. Once in a while, something truly organic happens and the consumer drives it. But 99% of the time, this is strategy. And if your product is good enough, it stands up to it, right? Because there have been cases, and both, we're not going to name names, but Troy and I know this, where the algorithm has been manipulated, but the product couldn't stand up to it. And at some point, if the product isn't right, it's not going to stand. It just is. But to get there, it's about strategy. It's about strategy.
That's right.
That's why there's Troy Marshalls in the world. That's why there's Troy's and FireMarshall, so that we can get your strategy together. And what do you say to an artist, and I haven't seen the comment, but I'm feeling it, and Patience. What do you say to an artist that is feeling like, overwhelmed at the thought of it all. It's 28 platforms, it's consistency of branding, it's making sure it's all linked up. What do you say to an artist that is in a panic state hearing this right now because they just thought they could just throw the music out there and it was all going to work? What do you say to that artist? Because it can feel overwhelming.
All right, well, my number is 310-663-4208. Now, a lot of people don't like giving out their number, but again, I'm not hiding from nobody, Terry. I don't owe nobody no money.
I'm gonna write it down in the comments. So give it to me again.
310
Yep.
663-4208. And only call me if you're very, very serious and you know, and you have a financial to put these plans together. So I want to touch on a couple of things because it's really, really important. You had said something about Apple Music, like one of your big platforms that you really deal with and listen to. Apple Music for urban artists is very important because with Apple, a majority of us have an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
So when you purchase an iPhone, the Apple Music app is already on the iPhone, right? So 7 times out of 10, you're going to subscribe or pay for that subscription for Apple Music, right? So when you pay for that subscription and you also start Shazamming a record, it starts feeding the algorithm at Apple Music.
Yes, it does, because I Shazam all the time.
Now, even though Shazam is used by all the labels and all the different distributors around the world, Apple Music owns Shazam. Okay. And a lot of people don't know that. And I just really want to clear that up. So if you have Shazam, which is very instrumental in marketing and promoting your music and getting your music discovered, and Apple Music owns them, you as an independent artist probably want to make sure that you have, if you have an Android, you make sure Apple Music is downloaded onto your Android phone. If you have an Apple phone, majority of people, they go there and that's where they discover and they find their music and add to their playlist.
Yes.
Type of thing.
I honestly, Troy, I have one of each, and I'll be transparent. I have an iPhone, and I call the iPhone is my business phone, right? I have an iPhone, and I enjoy Apple Music. I'm definitely a Shazam person. If I'm at the stoplight and somebody's rocking a song that I'm not familiar with, I'm Shazamming out the window because, you know, like I'm trying to find out, right?
Right.
But I will say I do love my Android because that's what I'm doing this on. I love the video. I love the camera on the Android. To me, it's superior. And for an artist, you always want to be in a position to be able to capture great content, and content can be captured on your phone. So having quality devices there is a play. But I think Troy's point about, you know, Apple Music and Shazam, like those are standards. When a label is looking to see and discover artists in the market or trying to get a pulse on whether their song that they're promoting is resonating, they'll look at Shazam. Yeah. So, and they'll call me and say, hey, I see you started playing such and such. It's Shazamming. It does, you know, it shows the power of that opportunity as well. And I'll be honest, there have been songs that have had 0 radio airplay in this market that have had Shazammed because they were exposed on other platforms that ended up being ads on the radio station. So, you know, that can work as well. So I think that's a very valuable point that you're making about, you know, Apple Music and Shazam, especially in the urban space for urban artists.
But also make sure you go to Shazam.com and apply to it, because then it'll send you the charts on a weekly basis, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's only the top 50. Well, so then why should I have a platform? Well, again, I just told you, it's attached to Apple Music. You want to study that platform, so as your buzz builds or as your career builds, you can see like, okay, cool. These are the different charts that I can look at to see, like, because they even have a Shazam discovery chart.
Yes.
And you can make that chart, but you won't know if you're not part of the system, or if you're not part of that platform and researching it and looking at it from week to week. You know, like for us right now, St. John and Hitco, he's all over now. He's been the #1 global Shazamian artist going on 18 weeks now. So for Hitco, they use that as a marketing strategy.
Yes.
So other platforms, look, he's gigantic on this Shazam platform. How can we make sure he's gigantic on the Apple Music platform, or on the Spotify platform, or on the Google Play platform, or the Deezer platform? How do we maximize that so his algorithm on those platforms continue to grow like the algorithm is growing on his Shazam platform?
Troy, you said a word, and we really only have like 3 minutes.
Okay.
But you said a word I want to underline: global. And I think that I need every artist that's in here, especially my artists from Houston, to understand that music is a global stage. I love own your block. I always say that. Do everything you can from a grassroots perspective. Own your block. Build your terrestrial buzz, from your hometown, and spread that out. But also understand, with the information that Troy is giving you, he is automatically giving you the information that you need to propel yourself and your music onto the global stage. And, there's been artists, and I'll go to the other side, like NSYNC or whatever. They weren't popular in the United States first. They made their success overseas, and it doubled back. And ultimately, does it really matter? Because you're an artist, you want to make art, and you want to be able to make a living at it. Does it really matter? So remember, what Troy is giving you is the secret sauce to propel yourself, your brand, and your music onto the global stage.
Actually, I got 2 global stories real quick, Terry.
Okay.
The global story was Lady Gaga's Just Dance. I had it hot in the clubs out here in the United States when I was at Interscope. But the record broke in Canada and bled down to Buffalo, New York. And then the pop station in Buffalo, New York started playing the record. Well, because I had it so hot in the club scene in Buffalo, it started to resonate in research. And then Brenda Morano, who is the head of pop promotion, she was able to take that and spread the record because we couldn't get arrested at first at radio. So we had a strategic plan of taking that record to the clubs and really energizing the club scene with that particular record. And then we had turned around and made a remix with Cardinal Official, who's from Canada, that we took to the rhythm format, right?
Yes.
So that was one great story. Another great story is Eric Bellinger, okay? Eric Bellinger goes to overseas once a quarter. He'll do about 18 shows, go collect a bunch of money, and come back home, make another album, put it out, go back overseas, do another 14 shows. Like, he has a system down. He has it down to a science. And that's how he's able to sustain the lifestyle that he has, because he has global success musically overseas.
There it is. Well, with that, Troy, we are out of time, my friend. I do want to say, but I would like 2 things. One, I'd like to invite you back because I think that we've just scratched the surface, and this is important information for people. 1. Number 2, I did pin the comment. You can see Troy Marshall's Instagram down here, tmarshall06. is down here, so you should follow him there. And he also gave out his phone number. It's in the comments. Hopefully you snag that, but I'll let you give it out one more time. Hopefully somebody's writing it down. What is it, Troy?
310-663-4208.
And only thing I'm going to say on that is, remember, if you reach out and touch Troy, it's a business conversation. So understand that you need to be prepared to not just talk business, but also be in a position to do business. I just want to put that out there. So
if you contact me from this situation, I will not charge my $500 consultation fee when I initially meet with clients, because I feel that this thing that Terri Thomas is doing is so important.
Thank you.
And I just really want to let people know that, we need more things like this. And Terri, I'm just so proud that you took this initiative, especially a woman in your type of stature and power within the radio medium, to want to share this with the community and show these consumers and artists how to take the different steps to be successful. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Troy. All right, people, it's been great. I'll be back Tuesday. Got a great guest. We're going to talk to Jason Jeter, who is launching the most incredible opportunity for artists coming up, and we're going to talk to him on Tuesday. So everybody have a great day and a great weekend. Be safe. And remember, team, I'm at home, but when you're out and about, please mask up. All right. Love y'all. Thank you, Box Family, and thank you, Troy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.